Sometimes the conversation starts out with scared. It is Thursday. It's Friday Junior. You know what I'm saying? And you know what we're going to do. We're going to get this thing started with a couple of puffs. And then we're going to get to it. We got a couple of things to discuss today. I'm going to be on with J.R. Jackson on the watch list today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be my first time being on with JR since he cut off the locks. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be interesting. But other than that, I'm having a good day. I'm having a good week. Fritz, what's popping? How you doing, Fritz? Yeah, I'm having a pretty good week. Feeling pretty good about everything. And I'm ready to take this first hit of the day. You know what I'm saying? We got some smooth music in the background. You dig? Woo! Man, Republicans defending Trump is something else, is it not? It is truly something else. Hey, we got your oldest daughter graduated on Saturday. Congratulations. That's great. That's what's up. I graduated high school in 2010. A little bit ago now. Not super long ago now, but a little bit ago. Aztec Dragon, Aaron, Scott, Hassan, what's going on? Hey. Yeah, we gonna go ahead and get this thing together. Got my bong loaded. Sprinkle a little stuff on the top, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, today we gonna talk a little bit about the election and a few other things. But really I think yesterday actually we covered it. We talked about how much it costs, like the average cost per state to give birth. Oh my God. It's like the average cost is like upwards of $10,000 is like the average cost per state. Like the cheapest state was like $4,000 or something like that. And then the most expensive states obviously were New York, New Jersey, and I believe Connecticut all were more expensive than California, but California definitely was, one of the juggernauts on top of the list in terms of how much it costs to give birth. So we got our bong loaded, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we got Jolene Munoz. What's going on? Dark Dragon. Yeah, let's go ahead and take this hit, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we got house music playing on in the background today. Take a quick little hit, you know what I'm saying? All right, that was a good hit. Good first hit of the day. Andrea is your daughter? Is she continuing her studies? Is she going to school? Is she going to university? Go ahead and separate the screen so we can get into today's stories. Woo. I need to get my hair done so damn bad. One of the good things about having long hair is when it's a mess, you can't always tell. My hair is a mess right now. Well, it's not horrible, but it's pretty messy. So let's see what we're going to start off with today. Let's start off with Lindsey Graham. I think that'd be a good one to start off with. Let's go ahead and start off with good old Lindsey Graham. Oh, and lest we not forget, we gotta support the Lose Cruise pack. The pack that has been started with the sole purpose of getting Ted Cruz out of office. They've already raised millions of dollars, I believe. We went over that yesterday. So, nuclear engineering. Your daughter has a mathematical mind for sure. That's what's up. That's awesome. That's really great. Congratulations. And I know you're proud of him. And indeed, we blazing for the nation. You know what I'm saying? We are blazing for the nation. So let's go ahead and get into our pal Lindsey Graham here. Lindsey Graham flatters Trump day after Tucker Carlson accused him of, quote, slobbering over ex-president. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. But you know they're gonna make us watch an advertisement first. So
Socialist Party, are they not?
Right. Yeah,
oh,
okay.
they didn't.
John McCain was great.
I'll start calling it. They did it. They didn't do it this time. All right, let's see what they talking about.
Socialist Party, are they not?
Right. Yeah, okay. John McCain was great until he became the nominee. Then he was a crazy old man. Mitt Romney was a heartless billionaire who put the dog on top of the car. Here's what I want to tell every conservative Republican. Whether you like Trump or not, it is not about Trump. If you're pro-life and you believe in responsible gun ownership and you want to limit the role of the federal government, you're the enemy of the people. President Trump was one hell of a president on all the things that I care about. They're trying to destroy his life. It's not going to work. And here's what's coming next. Watch for
who was clapping?
Indictment in
I was
Washington,
reading
D.C.
some. I was
You
reading
could convict any Republican.
My fault, y'all. I'm gonna restart it.
Socialist Party, are they not?
Right. Yeah, okay. John McCain was great until he became the nominee. Then he was a crazy old man. Mitt Romney was a heartless billionaire who put the dog on top of the car. Here's what I want to tell every conservative Republican. Whether you like Trump or not, it is not about Trump. If you're pro-life and you believe in responsible gun ownership and you want to limit the role of the federal government, you're the enemy of the people. President Trump was one hell of a president on all the things that I care about. They're trying to destroy his life. It's not going to work. And here's what's coming next.
They really in there clapping. And the saddest thing about this is, again, Lindsey Graham never wanted Trump to be elected in the first place. And then remember when he was on the floor, and I don't remember exactly what he said. It was after everybody raided, when people traveled from around the nation to raid the heart of the country. I don't remember exactly what I said, but what he said rather. But he was on the floor and he basically said something like, "Oh, Trump's gone too far now," or some shit like that. And now, of course,
watch for an indictment in Washington, D.C. You could convict any Republican in America of anything in Washington, D.C. He got 5% of the vote. Here's what I worry about, that Mr. Smith will indict President Trump for January the 6th activity in Washington, D.C.
And then they acting like Trump is just some regular Joe Schmo and not a born rich guy who was just the president of the United States.
If he does that, that means he has no confidence in the Florida case. I hope and pray that Mr. Smith will not do that, because that will tear this country apart. President Trump has been treated unlike anybody I've known in this business, and I've been around.
Enigmatic, thank you so much. And obviously, that I hope that procedure goes well. I hope it goes quickly. I hope it goes smoothly. But thank you so much to you and everybody again for just rocking with me, because we're growing, we're building, and right on time too with election season, not just for the federal elections, but for the community elections, everything going on locally. You know what I'm saying? I'm really looking forward, like I keep saying, to doing a lot of initiatives with y'all through this platform and through other platforms. It's one of the coolest things about the TYT family.
Around since 1995. What they hate about him the most, he's broken through to working people. He's a threat to the left, unlike anybody since Ronald Reagan and Mr. President, President Trump. Talk about the future, pal. We got you back.
Let me ask you a last question. Now you Socialist Party, are they not?
Right.
Yo, that was cringe as hell. He was, he was so obviously putting on a show, and it wasn't even good. But like, this is just, I guess this is all they're gonna do for through the entire election. And then after Trump, almost certainly inevitably loses, they still gonna be whining and crying. They're gonna be crying about 2020 and 2024 for years. They're gonna be crying about this for years, because I'm just not convinced that Trump can win a general election. So now what we got, because there's a variety of things. Okay, yeah, now let's go on to Mike Pence. What's Mike Pence talking about? Mike Pence. Lindsey has another bee in his bonnet. I never heard that before, but I like that. He got a bee in his bonnet. But yeah, man, this is just I'm catching up with y'all. But yeah, it's just it's so unnecessary. But honestly, at the same time, if they had another superstar, if Ron DeSantis really was a superstar, then they would be on him. But he's not, so they ain't. So let's see what Mike Pence is talking about. Mike Pence gets into a tense clash with Clay Travis after host urges him to pardon Trump if elected. What are the facts? All right, so let's see what they talking about. Let's just watch the video. El Teddy, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here too. And then again, like I've been consistent on it, but over the coming weeks, what I'll be doing as I introduce new shows and stuff on here and a variety of other things is I'll make sure like I'll start. I'm still kind of a little bit too all over the place to like do my stream at the same time every day, but you know I'm just about there. And once I am, I'll be able to schedule it out, so it'll just be easy to keep up with everything. But in the meantime, I'm still just doing my best to just stay active. My bad. I'm not even showing this shit in the stream. I'm tripping.
Very seriously, it's an
My bad, y'all.
First question there,
Here we
because
go.
I want to circle back to the
Y'all just
first
look at me
question there, because I
drinking
don't
coffee,
think
like, what the hell is he
you
doing?
directly answered it. So I want to circle back to the first question there, because I
Sure,
don't think
that's all right.
you directly answered it. So let's presume you're fortunate enough to take oath of office January 2025. You become the next president of the United States. Donald Trump is convicted of what I think you would agree are clearly, to a large degree, political-based charges. He is facing time in prison. Maybe they even put handcuffs on him and walk him into a prison. Would you pardon him from those federal charges?
Well, first off, these are serious charges. And as I said, I can't defend what's been alleged, but the president does deserve to make his defense. And I would say to each one of you, look, I've been a former governor. I've actually granted pardons to people. And I take the pardon authority very seriously. It's an enormously important power of someone in an executive position. And I just think it's premature to have any conversation about that right now, guys. I really
Why would
do.
you? But hold on. Let me just ask you that, because I think as a matter of principle, if you believe, as both Buck and I do,
This is some of the hardest stance that I've seen, other than Asa Hutchinson, who just flat out said that Trump needs to drop out of the primaries. This is the hardest hold your horses that I've seen out of any of the other Republican candidates in terms of, well, let's not rush to say that we need to pardon him now. Let's at least let him make his defense. So at least Mike Pence is going that far, but you know, I think he's third placed in the race. But even at that, Donald Trump is dozens of points above Ron DeSantis. So, you know.
that Donald Trump is being prosecuted to a large extent for political-based reasons, something that has never happened in the 240-plus year history of the United States, that we are setting an awful precedent here. And I think it's important to look at this even before the case has taken place.
The idea of holding someone who's very powerful accountable being a terrible precedent. If they can do it to him, they can do it to anybody. Like, what are you talking about? Donald Trump has skirted consequence his entire life. I mean, yeah, sure, he's had to cough up a couple $1 million here and there for the scams that he's done on people, but overall, he's gotten away with everything, even when he was in office. And then obviously, too, it's the rich and the powerful, not just in America, but all throughout history, who get away with everything because they rich and powerful and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. So, you know, this isn't a complicated issue. But again, they talk about Trump like he's just, you know, just Joe the plumber. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just struggling to make ends meet, and he doesn't have any way to defend himself.
Read the indictment. You know what the allegations are. They are serious. But to me, what is gained by allowing Donald Trump to be put in prison in the event he was convicted is we lose infinitely more by not just taking a principled stand and saying, as a matter of principle, this shouldn't happen. I'm not going to allow it. To me, if you're the executive, you are the ultimate decider. With all due respect, when you aren't telling us what your decision would be, I think you're dodging the question and frankly not stepping up on the front of leadership, which in the past you've been willing to do. So,
This dude just said, now, given the fact that you're going to be the one who has all the power, once you get in there, just say yes or no. I don't want to hear any nuance. I don't want to hear any gray areas. I don't want to hear all that mumbo jumbo about the facts and the new. I don't want to hear all that. Just say yes or no. He just tell me if you'd pardon Trump. That's all I want to hear.
So to me, not answering is a no.
Well, look, number one, I don't think you know what the president's defense is, do you? I mean, what are the facts? I mean, look, we either believe in our judicial process in this country or we don't. We either stand by the rule of law or we don't. I just, what I would tell you is I think as someone who has
what I'm hearing is you're fine with Donald Trump.
He won't even let him finish. No, I just told you, bro. I don't want to hear all that nuance. I don't want to hear all that reality nonsense. Just tell me that you would pardon him.
Being put in prison, sir, and that to me, since you were his vice president, feels pretty disrespectful.
I had a standard rule. I don't talk about
fine with Donald Trump being put in prison, sir, and that to me, since you were his vice president, feels pretty disrespectful.
I had a standard rule. I don't talk about hypotheticals. Look, we don't know what the president's defense here is.
Jenny, imagine if anyone else on earth did 1% of what Donald Trump has done. Even other Republicans couldn't get away with this. And you can't just say this with Trump because he's been a criminal his entire life. That's why he acts the way he acts, because he's never had to really face any real consequences. The little dollars he's had to cough up here and there don't mean nothing to him.
I think he's entitled to make his defense, entitled to have his day in court. And look, let's take it one step at a time. But I would just tell you that
but if you know that these are political charges and you do, this is not a difficult decision.
I think we've gotten what we're going to get here.
Defense, entitled to have his day in court. And look, let's take it one step at a time. But I would just tell you that
but if you know that these are political charges and you do, this is not a difficult decision.
Clay, I think we've gotten what we're going to get here in terms of an answer to this one.
I think any conclusion by anyone running for the presidency of the United States that would prejudge the facts in this case or prejudge the investigation into President Biden or his family is premature. Let's let the process play out. Let's follow the facts, and I promise you, as president of the United States, I'll do just that.
The dude was like, I think we've gotten what we're going to get when it comes to this question. Let's just move along. He said, now, given the fact that you were his vice president, I think that you won't just say that you'll pardon him. You know it's a political charge. He said it's disrespectful. These people really want a dictatorship. They're not playing. They really want that because they feel as though that's the only way that they can get back what's being robbed from them, what's being taken from them. I don't want to see all these gay people everywhere. That's basically all it is. Well, it's not all it is. It's the gay people and the trans people and the black people and the Mexican people and the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? Like the list goes on and on. We don't want those people touching our stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. But let's go ahead and keep it going. We got all these economic issues. And they'd be like, gay people. Oh, these people are so ridiculous. We have a variety of other interesting stories to go over. We actually got some good stuff today. Thursdays are typically, in my experience, Thursdays are the best days in terms of like just articles online. Just seems to be the day where there's the most stuff written, the most thoughtful, in-depth pieces. And perhaps because the week is almost over, there's enough to talk about and wrap up kind of what's going on. But Thursdays always seem to be the days, just the best media days.
And by media, I don't necessarily just mean politics. Pretty much any kind of content that you'd like to consume. Thursdays are great, especially when it comes to articles. Now, okay, let's go to this. DeSantis's Never Back Down pack releases a new ad. Punching back. Still here, not hung. I'm reading y'all comments. Oh, man. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out because thus far, every attack that Ron DeSantis or anyone associated with Ron DeSantis has done against Donald Trump has been really lame and ineffective. In fact, Ron DeSantis came out and he was like, "Oh, we have our law enforcement system has a double standard. If I'm elected, when I'm elected, I'm going to fix our what do you say, our 2-tier justice system or some BS like that." Like, bro, you supposed to be beating this dude, and you sitting here, "Oh, he's been indicted twice, but I'm gonna defend him." All right, let's just go ahead. Here we go. Let's check it out. Let's see what they talking about. This is what's the pack called? The Never Back Down pack. So let's see.
Who are the best governors in the country? We don't really need to guess.
I am not going to let the media smear what's going on in Florida.
The guy's succeeding. And if you're the Democratic Party or its minions in the media, this is a huge problem. They're probably going to try and take out DeSantis pretty soon.
It's pay to play, Governor.
It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts. I know corporate media thinks that they can just run over people. You ain't running over this governor.
Yeah, well, thank you. We're not going to let you impose an agenda on our kids. We're going to stand up for our kids. People like that in Florida are the people we beat. We do not let them win.
I'm asking you to tell me what's in the bill because you are pushing false narratives. You try to fearmonger. With all due respect, I find that deplorable. I'm punching back. I'm going to continue to do it until these smear merchants are held accountable. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Never Back Down is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Okay, I have a few things to say about that, but first, am I missing something? Because I thought that it said it was. Oh, okay. So it's okay. So this ad, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump whatsoever. He didn't mention because I was like, now, did I read it wrong? Yes, I did read it wrong. Which is actually hilarious because it just goes to show how big of a coward and how much this dude sucks at this game. It's like this dude, Donald Trump, is throwing haymakers at everybody ruthlessly, not caring who he hits. And y'all releasing ads that say nothing about Donald Trump, nothing about his indictments, nothing about his impeachments, nothing about his years of ripping people off. But again, that's difficult for Ron to do because lest we all forget his commercial or Build the Wall, where he was basically like, "I'm Donald Trump Jr." You know, I mean, this dude just ain't got it. But first and foremost, this is only a minute long. So
who are the best governors in the country? We don't really need to guess.
The first thing he says right here.
I'm not going to let the media smear what's going on in Florida.
I'm not going to let the media smear what's going on in Florida. Like, bruh, Florida's a disaster. Florida always been a strange place, but since you've been in there, this war with Disney and especially Disney, because that's like what's really unpopular even with Republicans. Republicans are really not feeling this war with Disney. One, because it's petty and childish and stupid. It ain't about nothing. It's a waste of resources. And most importantly, he's losing, which makes him and the the Republican Party in Florida and just the Republican Party, the GOP, look bad as a whole, because Ron DeSantis, despite him having absolutely no people skills and no social skills and no personality, he's still one of the most front-facing Republicans in the country. That being the case, everybody hates the war with Disney. The 6-week abortion ban that he signed right after he signed the 12-week abortion ban, both of which are unpopular. The 6-week, obviously, which is even more egregious and unpopular. His war against immigrants, that's causing thousands of people to just not show up to work. What's that doing to the economy? Not good things. Obviously, his war against the LGBTQ community at large, his war against teachers, it just everything. Okay, so how are we smearing? No one's smearing. That's just what's going on in Florida.
And everything else was really just not much. He didn't really say anything in this ad. And the reason that they don't have him really saying much is because he doesn't say much. You know what I'm saying? Like Ron DeSantis ain't got nothing to say. He ain't got nothing to say. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he's still bussing. He's still bussing people. This dude, man. Oh. Texas Governor Greg Abbott sends first bus of migrants to Los Angeles. I mean, the whole just busing migrants, this whole thing is just nonsense in general. However, it's really just, because Texas and California are on the border of Mexico. So like it's such a mirage. It's such a game, and they're using people's lives to play it. A busload of migrants arrived in Los Angeles from Texas on Wednesday in what Governor Greg Abbott hailed as the first group to be sent to the city in California. I don't know how Greg Abbott sounds. I can't really recall his voice right now too much. I need to listen to it so I can properly impersonate him. But anyway, a busload of migrants arrived in Los Angeles from Texas on Wednesday in what Governor Greg Abbott hailed as the first group to be sent to the city in California. Our border communities are on the front lines of President Biden's border crisis, and Texas will continue providing this much needed relief. Oh, yes. Oh, it's so dumb. You're just busing a very small handful of people to another part of the border. That's all you're doing. You're just sending them to another part of the border of the USA. And then there's still people coming in to your state on a daily basis. So you're doing nothing except playing with people's lives. Okay, what did he say? Where was I? Okay, so he was saying he'll continue providing this much needed relief until he steps up to do his job and secure the border. And what is that? That don't mean nothing. That means nothing. What is Biden supposed to do? Step up and make sure that absolutely no one's coming in the country? Like, that's ultimately how far the can's going to get kicked down the road. Otherwise, they just going to continue to use immigrants' lives, and they're going to continue to use migrants as pawns, so they can just endlessly kick the can down the road when it comes to how satisfied they are or are not with the border situation, let alone our drug laws that really add to the problem anyway. Jorge Mario Cabrera, communications director with immigrant rights group Chirla, told the Los Angeles Times that there were 42 people on board. 42 people. So this dude Greg Abbott's talking about he providing a much needed service of just shipping these migrants to other states. You ship 42 people, bruh. That ain't nothing. There's more people than that in this in the apartment building that I'm in, and I'm in a little apartment building. There's more people than that in here. Like, that ain't nothing. I can see, well, we're going to ship 3,000 people every day. Yes, that would be horrible. But at least then you could actually tout it as something like, we're cleaning up Texas. We're cleaning up the bins of Texas or something like that. But you shipping 42 people, that's not even worth mentioning. That's not even worth doing. He ain't even trying to go big. Like, this pathetic, including 8 children, and that they haven't been given any food for their 23-hour journey. Oh, that's wonderful. So you shipped 42 people, 8 of whom were children, and didn't feed them for a full day. They didn't eat for a full day while you shipped them there. And again, this dude puffing his chest out, acting like, I'll be shipping boatloads of people. No, you don't. You're not even doing that. You acting like you're doing it, but you're not. He added that one of the group has a court date scheduled in New York. That's where the cruelty of this process is unbounded, Cabrera said. That's why Los Angeles made sure that we were coordinated and prepared to deal with the human beings behind this political charade. And this is Greg Abbott Texas just dropped off the first bus of migrants in Los Angeles. Oh, 46 people. We're like, I mean, think about how that's like some South Park parody type of stuff right there. I mean, seriously, think about how ridiculous that is. This dude is sitting here tweet. This dude is the head executive of one of the most powerful states in the whole country, and he's sitting there tweeting, talking about we just sent the first, but it's not even 50 people. You didn't even send 50 people and you tweeting about it like you did something big. Yet, the people that you did ship there, you didn't feed them. Small Texas border towns remain overrun and overwhelmed because Biden refuses to secure the border. LA is the city migrants seek to go to, particularly now its leaders approved its self-declared sanctuary status. Matter of fact, hold up. This is how. Let's see. This is how Republicans imagine migrants. Right here. This is how Republicans imagine migrants coming into the country.
To see with your friends, the blackening. I see something. Is not it. Let's go! The blackening. Rated R.
You called him Governor Hot Wheels. This right here is what Republicans imagine when they talk about the border, immigrants coming over into the country. This is what they think of. What was that dude's name? Stephen King. He was the senator or a house. He was a House member in Iowa or something like that, or Idaho, one of those two states. And he was like, they got calves the size of cantaloupes. They just bring all their fentanyl on their backs when they come over here in this country. And the Mexicans just storm the border like zombies. Like, here we go. The Mexicans are coming. This is why we got to build the wall. Be like, the wall won't work anyway. They'll get over the wall. No, why is it doing this? No, don't hate on me. and then they just jump over the border and run into the country like on some Naruto, run into the country like World War Z zombies with fentanyl and heroin and cocaine on their backs, just like yeah, I'll get the point. They're so ridiculous, man. Okay, now let's check this out. USDA to revise meat labeling guidelines for claims like grass-fed or free range. And this is interesting too, because like they just, I mean, essentially, you never really know what's on the label. I mean, for the most part, like nutrition labels have what's in it for the most part. However, like the way that they brand things, like grass-fed, free range, like, oh, there's no, what do they call? No steroids in the chicken, no steroids in the cows. Like a lot of the time they just slap colorful brands on stuff. So let's check this out.
Now to the
He's got a great swing.
Seeing the world in a new light
So focused.
starts with the right opportunity.
Citi Gold clients have access to preferred benefits like live events.
Danielle King stepping to the team.
Because seeing something yourself can change everything.
The USDA crackdown on food labeling, making sure the claims on the meat you're buying are true. Ariel Reshef is here now with the details. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Rebecca. So many people are paying more attention to what they are eating, and many are willing to pay a premium for beef or poultry labeled grass-fed or free-range. And now the
Right, that do look like some January 6th.
USDA is taking further steps to make sure those claims are actually true. The agency already has to approve marketing claims about how food processors raise their animals, but now it is reevaluating its practices, especially when it comes to substantiating grass-fed or free-range claims. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack saying in a statement, consumers should be able to trust that the label claims they see on products bearing the USDA mark of inspection are truthful and accurate. The USDA says it will also evaluate companies which falsely claim that their products are made without using antibiotics on their animals. This is all part of a Biden administration initiative to crack down on false or misleading food labels, putting those fake food labels out to pasture. Guys.
So to speak. Okay, Ariel.
Those be and these be the types of program like the USDA that like Republicans be like, oh, we don't need this, so I don't want to spend my tax dollars on this stuff. Who needs an organization that makes sure that the labels on the food are actually accurate? And, I mean, look what the Supreme Court just made it a few times in a row. They ruled against the EPA's ability to do its job. So, it's just so ridiculous. Just leave everything up to the free markets. I don't care what I put in my body. Okay, so I think that basically pretty much sums it up. So yeah, so nice little 1 minute sum up. I don't think there's anything else new within the article, but again, that is an example of what government institutions are supposed to do. That's tax dollar. That is tax dollars well spent. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure that the water we drink and the food we put in our bodies isn't poisonous. Stuff like that. That's what the government's supposed to do. So that's tax dollars well spent. So yeah. Humboldt grass-fed beef. I don't know. I'm sure I probably have had that. I don't know though. I'm not sure. But yes. I'm just catching up with y'all real quick. All right, so we got a couple more. Okay, so the Supreme Court, what did they do today? Supreme Court rejects challenges to law that governs tribal adoptions. The Supreme Court on Thursday left intact a decades-old law that prioritizes the placement of Native American children with Native families or tribes in child custody proceedings, rejecting challenges brought by several adoptive parents. The law was passed in 1978 to protect tribal sovereignty after Congress documented the alarmingly high number of children with Native American ancestry being placed with non-Native families or institutions in state child welfare and private adoption proceedings. The 7-2 decision backs the law passed in the wake of decades of hostility on the part of the federal government when it comes to child custody issues and traditional values of Indian tribes. Justice Amy Coney Barrett, writing for the majority, said Congress did not exceed its authority in passing the law. Quote, in a long line of cases, we have characterized Congress's power to legislate with respect to the Indian tribes as plenary and exclusive, she wrote. Congress's power to legislate with respect to Indians is well established and broad, Barrett wrote, but acknowledged that the court's precedent in the area has been unwieldy. Excuse me. She noted that in general, Congress lacks a general power over domestic relations, but that the Constitution does not erect a firewall around family law. She was joined by Chief Justice John Robertson, Justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Ketanji Brown Jackson. The case pitted the interest of Native American tribes who said their existence as sovereign nations
was on the line against non-native couples seeking to foster or adopt children with native ancestry. The opinion, which is a defeat for the couples who challenged the law, upheld a lower court's ruling that the law is consistent with Congress's authority. And Joe Biden remarked, today's decision for the Supreme Court keeps in place a vital protection for tribal sovereignty and native children. Our nation's painful history looms large over today's decision, Biden added. In the not so distant past, native children were stolen from the arms of the people who loved them. They were sent to boarding schools or to be raised by non Indian families, all with the aim of erasing who they are as native people and tribal citizens. These were acts of unspeakable cruelty and affected generations of native children and threatened the very survival of tribal nations. The Indian Child Welfare Act was our nation's promise. Never again. Okay, so pretty much everybody ruled in favor of that. But I mean, that makes sense. Again, given the history of this nation, given how it was formed, given how disease wiped out, upwards of 90% of the natives, many natives never even saw Europeans. Imagine being in a village and your whole village is dying out of a disease that was spread through trade routes that y'all had never even, you have no antibodies for it. You don't know what it is. So a huge chunk of Native Americans ended up perishing from disease. Were it not for that, even though Europeans were more militarily and technologically advanced in certain ways, like the types of metals and alloys that they could use and what have you, and like just having years worth of access to horses and stuff. There still were over 100 million people just in the North American sector. So like, even though they had better technology in certain areas, they still there were just too many people. If it weren't for the disease, they never would have been able to just sweep through the lands like they did. That being the case, I think that this ruling makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If there's a native child up for adoption, given the fact that Native Americans still have very, very small lands compared to what they did now, they still are sovereign nations. So this helps to protect that. So, mm-mm. Let's see. Hey, yo, can you close that window, please? Thank you. No. I mean the actual window. Thank you. Okay, now, and then what else? What did the Supreme Court just do? Someone with voting. I think they just it was someone with voting rights. They just ruled in favor of voting rights a few days ago. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with Biden's student loan forgiveness proposal. I think it's reasonable to assume that they're going to say, "Oh no, the executive branch doesn't have the right to do this," but who knows? We'll see. Okay, now so we got two more. One of them is funny and pretty is hilarious, and now this one, um, quite depressing. Incel community was so sad, researchers studying it felt bad. Misogyny is a product of the incel community rather than a few select individuals. Recently published research analyzing a popular discussion board for involuntary celibates, commonly known as incels, is providing new insight into the online community's misogynistic views. What is this? Oh, I think this is other stuff. I think this is different stuff entirely. The study, led by Michael Halpin, an assistant professor of sociology at Dalhousie University, examined more than 3.6 million comments on the website incels.is from November 8th, 2017 to April 16th, 2021. After collecting a database of popular misogynistic terms such as Becky, a derogatory term for white women, and noodle whore, a term used to demeaningly refer to Asian women. The researchers aimed to the researchers aimed to determine how frequently incels make misogynistic comments while discussing amongst themselves online. Published in the journal New Media and Society earlier this month, the study found that 82% of comment threads and 81% of users' post histories contained at least one of the terms. In this sense, misogyny is a product of the incel community rather than a few select individuals, Halpin wrote. Furthermore, we find that there is no statistically significant overall association between the user's post frequency and their use of misogynistic terms, which suggests most users posting on incels.is do not become misogynistic on the platform, but arrive already endorsing misogyny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely, definitely, for sure. I've never heard of that platform. I guess that is like the super community. But I think most people are more familiar with like, like the manosphere and the red pill, like because a lot of their stuff's on YouTube and all over social media and stuff like that. So um, but they all go hand in hand. So speaking with side posts, Halpin further stated that besides hating women, incels also appear to have hostile views towards themselves. Well, we also noticed that incels targeted themselves, seeing themselves as failed men, seeing their bodies as ugly, and seeing themselves as being doomed to be forever alone, Halpin said. The way they talk about themselves made most of us on the research team sympathetic to a degree because it is quite depressing. Oh yeah, that's very true. I mean, it's there's just as much self-defeat as anything else, if not more self-defeat, because so much of the misogyny it comes from that self-defeat. Um yeah, I mean, yeah, these guys are always putting themselves down. And if they're not like this extreme, then they trivialize themselves by making money and status everything. You know what I'm saying? So they end up trivializing themselves as human beings. But then on an even deeper level here, as we see, like it's even deeper. People will talk, oh, I'm not tall enough, I'm not good looking enough, I don't make enough money. It's always I'm not this, I'm not, instead of I am this and I am that, and therefore I could probably find somebody who likes it. So um yeah, there's just an incredible amount of self-defeat. Although Halpin says the data suggests that incels hate all women, the community appears to specifically dehumanize women of color and see them in both racist and sexist terms. Specifically, women of color are seen as more accessible but less desirable than white women. Yeah, that's what they say out loud. That's what they say out loud, but the reason why they always talk about them is because they want them. That's why they always talk about them. Halpin added that around 50% of incels are men of color, making the use of racist language towards women of color surprising. Men of color, it's not surprising. Men of color also regularly referred to women of color as race traitors for expressing interest in white men. Well, and that goes like for like, like expressing interest in a variety of different things other than yourself. The researchers concluded that early education and intervention is likely the best tool, as those on incel forums are almost always already deeply misogynistic. Halpin also argued that deplatforming incel communities is an effective strategy given that such censorship, which can be easily bypassed by the creation of a new forum, will only further convince incels their views are correct. Yeah, there's always another forum. And I think one thing that can help this, and I think too, you don't even need to like specifically like highlight like the incel community or like manosphere red pill or whatever extremist community there is. You really can just kind of target um our society's lack of people and social skills, especially with the rapid development of technology and how people are so used to just being like this all the time, especially kids. Oh my bad, my allergies are going crazy. But especially little kids, from the time kids are like 1 years old, they on phones and they know how to work them. And a lot of the time, a lot of people's issues that they have in dating, so many of people's dating problems, especially the younger generations, you go like millennials, Gen Z, come from just not having adept social skills. So I think that one thing that several things that our education system, our public education system needs to provide is financial education, so people can learn just how our monetary system functions, so they can learn how our tax system works, so they can learn how to save money, how to invest in assets. That does make a difference. Obviously, people need money to invest in, but financial management isn't all about investing in assets. It could just be about saving and being disciplined. I think it would help out a lot if kids could have access to that type of education in public schools, because that's how you learn how to be good with money. And also, I think that people, yes, financial literacy, yes, definitely. And also, I think that I think how to be better in relationships. And by relationships, I don't necessarily just mean romantic relationships. I mean just relating with people in general. Emotional intelligence, people skills, social cues, empathy, stuff like that. I think that'll go a long way, because that absolutely will help people become successful. And by successful, I don't just mean being able to make money, but just successful citizens, productive citizens in society. Now, we have, yes, absolutely. That would financial literacy programs would make such a huge difference. I mean, I'm 31 years old. I could think about how much of a difference it would have made in my life. You know what I'm saying? If I just knew how money worked when I was younger, like it would have made more of a difference. Now, this is hilarious. Now, we often go over ratchet stories here. Man, people be stupid out here. Financially struggling dude subscribes to wife's friend's OnlyFans and sends her $600. Drama ensues. You think, you think, man, oh God, man, people see, people just be dumb out here, man. Sometimes life presents you with situations that just tell you what's up with people and you can just walk away. And this is one of those situations where it's like, bro, I can't deal with you no more. Like, what the hell? And you know what's so stupid about this too? It's like, bro, you could have just went on some type of a free website and gotten that free content. You did not have to do this. Why did you send her this money? Because you thought that she was gonna be like, ooh, and end up doing something with you in real life. That's why you sent her that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you struggling to pay your bills. Okay, so here it is. Some men will embarrass you every chance they can. Due to struggling with bills at home, and he subscribed to his wife's friend's OnlyFans and sent her over $600 in total. She told the wife because she knows they're struggling and gave some money. She lucky she got anything, but yeah, she is lucky she got something back, because it could have went horribly wrong. Hey sis, I really hate to say this, but Dan is on my OnlyFans. She put his name out there now. He can't get away with this. Dan is on my OnlyFans. I didn't realize it because he was using his middle name. In all, he sent me a little over 600, but they take 20%. I feel like the least I can do is send half of what I saw, especially with the bill situation. He is blocked, and I took him off my Twitter as well. Oh yeah, she said, why did you send me only half the money? Okay, thank you. But why did you send me only half the money? And how do you what did she say? And how do you not know who it was, but was talking for weeks? Once I got it sent to me, it became my money. I made videos and bought outfits for those on top of them, automatically taking 20%. Because he's not my husband and I don't know his middle name off the top of my head. Well, I think you should send the rest. You know we are behind.
Yeah, I agree, but you should send the rest of the money. Yo, this whole situation is a mess. Right, you got $600 to just send to some random content creator on OnlyFans, but you struggling with your $600 is a decent chunk of money. But I don't really got a whole lot of commentary on this. I don't really give a damn. It was just funny because we often go over stories that are just ratchet because man, people be tripping out here. And again, sometimes things happen and it's just like, I hope she ain't with him no more. I mean, I don't know their situation. I'm sure she needs him to pay some bills, you feel me? But if she can take him to court, she need to go ahead and do that because ain't no good gonna come from him. But that concludes today's stream. We ended up having a fun stream. I'm gonna be on later with JR Jackson, who cut off his dreads. Ah! Damn, I'm sore as hell. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm sore as hell. God damn. And I'm hungry. I am hungry. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's go ahead and load the bomb. Let's go ahead and load the bomb. Take a hit and have a good day. It's a nice day here. What's the temp? What's the temp here? It is 73 degrees. Quite beautiful. I love being with TYT. Honestly, TYT changed my life. Like, if they really did. TYT changed my life. TYT gave me a foundation. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I like most about TYT, and while I'll continue to work with TYT, no matter how big my own platform gets, or my name gets, or brand gets, or whatever, is because essentially what TYT is a manifestation of progressive movement. That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta like everybody on it. You don't gotta, watch all the shows or nothing. But TYT gets people into office. TYT educates people on policy. You know what I'm saying? And TYT is absolutely committed to the political game, to the political process. So, and one of the things also that's most inspiring about TYT is they just keep on fighting. You know what I'm saying? TYT, they keep on fighting, and they be on the ropes. They be having their back on the ropes. They be having financial problems. It's millions of people hate them. You know what I'm saying? But they keep at it. You feel me? They keep at it. They keep on pushing forward, and you gotta respect it, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect it because shit ain't easy. Life ain't easy in general, but politics is just a tiring business. You got to be just because it's an inherently negative thing. It's an inherently negative field. Not that everything in politics is negative, but essentially what politics is about is solving problems. So you're dealing with issues, you're dealing with problems. It can be exhausting. But they keep their foot on the gas. You know what I'm saying? And we all need that. We all need that from each other. You dig? Now let's go ahead. I'm smoking on something called Dosey Punch or something like that. Nina Turner's one of my favorite people in America. She's one of my favorite people in America. She's a very strong person. Very strong-willed person. Very, very powerful energy. And she really cares. She's full of a lot of love. A lot of aggression. But she's full of a lot of love.
And that's one of the reasons why she's so, I understand her. I understand Nina. One of the reasons she's so aggressive and so combative is because she's full of so much love. So she's easily one of my favorite people. Let's go ahead and take this hit.
Shout out to all the murderers turned mirrors. Fuck the federal bureau. Shout out to Nostradamus. All the county of Kings, City, Brown State first. Shout out to Big Papa Daddy King.
People like Nina Turner help to keep people like me in line, because I love people and I care for people, but I'm not a very forgiving person. I'm not that big on redemption. You know, some people deserve redemption, but a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? People like Nina kind of help me snap out of that sometimes. Snap out of just being a hard ass all the time. You know what I mean? I love people, but I don't play. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of it's things I don't tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Like but sometimes I need to showcase a bit more empathy. Then people like Nina kind of help bring that out of me. You know what I'm saying? Woo! Ooh. Yo, that hit just got me right. That just got me right. But nah, yeah, I'm just, and we need that too. We all have something to bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? We all got something to bring to the table. Yeah, I agree. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining me. I appreciate all of y'all for being here. I appreciate all of y'all constant support. I'm about to get some food in my stomach. I'm gonna be on with JR Jackson later this afternoon at 5 o'clock. And I'm definitely gonna be streaming tomorrow as well. So y'all have a good afternoon.